upon this moment in every church, in every house, and every ear shall they hear peace of Exodus. Amen. Now is the time. I do not call the time. I see the saints as ready to end suffering. I only see the saints ready to end suffering. I see the people ready to end suffering, for the nobility, honor, and the compassion of the American spirit will no longer allow it. Peace to all who read this and understand this spoken word now is given power. Peace. Peace to the green lands, to the waters, the mountains, the sky. I say in this way, now is the time. Peace to America. Peace to the children of liberty. Her sons, her daughters, those who built this land, and those who are now proud to say, an American is a citizenship of calling, a distinction of expression of humanity, the very reality and ethos of who we are as a people, the American dream. It seems empirical to establish, as one would say, a front line to the movement of peace. The last change in our communities, all across America, the end game of Peace Up is a dream so powerful it cannot be stopped. You understand? It cannot be stopped. That is the final dream. Do you understand? This dream will not stop. Amen. It is a dream so powerful it cannot be stopped. Born here among the turbulence of a generation of war in the streets. It is the final call. It's the only choice left for us to come together, for us to be Americans. Peace will walk these streets in day and in the night. Peace will be spoken in halls and in homes, in generations, in the very air we breathe. From whispers and quiet minds to great shouts and song. Peace for us in our hearts, for the pains we carry. Peace to the kids with no ma or no pa. Peace to those kids dead and gone. Peace to those children, those kids that are dead, forever gone, erased as humans over a war on our streets. Most of them don't even remember what it was like, the community, the parks, the porches, and the stoops, all alive with vibrant possibilities, not seen by the past generations due to their social status, and society changing at a crawl for so long. The great breakthrough of the urban minorities lay at the door. Self-education, equal opportunity, self-improvement. Neighborhoods had voices, music and the sights and the sounds. I could slide in unnoticed. Ouch. I'm sorry, you all know I'm sick. Just give me an amen for a second here. Yeah. The great breakthrough of the urban minorities lay at the door. Self-education, equal self-improvement. Neighborhoods had voices, music, and the children played in the safe streets and courtyards in urban America, the sights and the sounds. I could slide in unnoticed, yet my world was white. I saw from the outside in and the inside out. being mulatto. It took them one summer to make us all go inside. One drug to lead the pack, special made to rock the minority, crack and war. Crack cocaine and war. The game took the biggest turn, one that would be haunting of closed doors, shades, locked windows, doors, police raids on all the minorities all at once. Or if you're a white driving down this road in Langley Park, you will be stopped. That was the life in the urban ghetto before the war on the streets started in 1984. That was the true story. But we choose to stare at the same wall, throwing mental images of what we think cops lead the way in drama, as in the TV show, leading the way in drama. Oh, wow, we loved it, man. The guys in the jail turned cops on, leading the way in this drama that destroyed our families. Until the whole country knew existence of war in urban areas, stomping out the voice of the people with terror, with violence, with poverty. Until the whole country lay under its transfixed grip. Oh, we loved it. We loved watching the suffering. Until the suffering becomes too much. The lives too many. The stories, too many of suffering. Too horrible. Too common. For too long, good men have stood by. First they came for but I did nothing because I was not one of them. Then they came for, but I said nothing, for I was not one of them. And then they came for but I did not speak up, for I was not one of them. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak for me. Peace to 1965, to Selma, the march in Alabama want to call for good men of faith of all colors, of all ethnicities, to come to face violence with love. The turning point, the voice of new America, of a new generation, of a generation yet to come. And a generation yet to come. And now, we are here. Peace do I have a dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. For it sparked the fire of our love that moves us to make a better world.
100 years later,
to dare our humanity to look at the suffering placed before us at the bad check of justice marked insufficient funds. King said as he spoke on to more truth that the very destinies of us all are intertwined. We are bound to one another. Freedom. By freedom, by American want to have a better community for our children and to an end of violence. Violence of hand, violence of power, violence of life, violence of poverty. The end of true suffering, the end game, is nonviolent. Now is the time for the elders that I ask again, in honor and deep respect, as one man, but many voices in the night, to make again the house is strong, to prepare for the action of peace. I believe that this is the dream. We can never be satisfied until peace has had its day. We will never be satisfied until justice rolls like thunder across the land, shaking the very core of our hearts. And poverty and suffering, violence in our community ends. We will never be satisfied until each child, each American can walk the streets in peace, knowing we are moving forward, but not back. We again will never be satisfied and rise up to complete a dream deeply rooted in the American dream that this nation must live up. It must live up to the true meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal. Now is the time for the dream to come alive in every one of us that has heard his voice, and the sacred check of citizenship be honored. Peace to the words of history, words of might on the steps of the Capitol. 1 million strong and of one voice. Now is the time that shook the very air of the nation, still does today. They gave point and measure with no uncertain terms the need for change. The change is here. It is up to us to cash the check owed to all the American people. I have a dream. Peace to Gandhi, to Malcolm X and his wisdom, to King's voice, to Mandela's reconciliation. Peace to the generations of those caught in this very place of poverty, in a war zone, in a life of terror of them in America. G, born and dead before time even gave them a chance.
Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate.
Do you hear me? And now long gone in a world who never even knew why. They said they're born and they died and they never even knew why. Peace to end 31 years of suffering, distrust, and violence on our streets. Peace to the 70% of criminals stuck in some fool drug crime. Peace to the families torn down. Peace to the kids on the street running. Peace to the gangs on every block, on every city across America. Peace to the deep, dark blocks in Baltimore, Detroit, Washington, D.C., L.A., and every other great urban city where the urban world lives running wild. Okay? Peace to the sisters walking the night shift. Peace to the back roads where the little town has no voice. Peace to the people and the policemen. Peace to the G's walking today. Peace to the MCs worldwide. Peace in every word and every language on earth. Peace to each families of these peoples on these shores. Peace to your homes and to your ground. Peace will lay upon us as an unstoppable force. Now is the time. I do not call the time, but it is time to honor long past dreams. Peace to the travelers. Peace to the media. Peace to the writers. Peace to the speakers. Peace to the rappers. When do we mold the youth? Now is the time. Peace to the music in the air. Peace to the very quiet and lost and alone. Peace to the voice of the street. Now is the time. I do not call the time, but I ring the bell as a signal, a promise long overdue. Peace will be alive now like an evident being upon us, a word that becomes tangible when spoken. Peace up is in every good idea that can help another or help you to become a better person. Now is the time. I do not call the time, but I see Mother Earth say, now is the time. Peace to the brothers and the sisters in the 8x10. Peace to the fallen, graves, the ghetto, and the poverty. Born all races, to police, soldiers all. No child should have to grow up without their father, their mother, a padre, a madre. Peace to their families, may we honor them all. Peace upon their graves as we honor their death. Peace to create a place where the suffering ends. Peace to those who bring about the end of this suffering. Peace to the impoverished. Peace to the rich. Peace to the 99%. Peace to the 1%.
When will you be satisfied?
Peace for our children.
We can never
Peace
be
for the
satisfied
1%.
as long as the Negro is
Now is time for peace. I do not call the time, it has called itself.
We can never
Peace has been called in every state, in every riot, in every shooting, in every investigation, in every march, in every tear shed, in every tear shed by any who have had enough of this violence. Amen. Who have had enough of this violence. Peace for every dream killed. Peace to the street. A place where brothers of love will break enemies to brothers and sisters. A place so small yet so loud, it will have hail resounding horn to cover our ethos in a dare of humanity. As Selma shows us, there is a higher place, a place of code and honor. It shows us that most of all we walk it, those of spirit, who shall lead us other than God's people. God's man in each one of us. An idea born here in America, freedom to let any suffering continue any longer stands against our very tenements. We are not here sent to judge, only to break bread with the enemy.